Might been a few hours, but it felt like days.
Good morning. It is 7:25 on a Wednesday. I am going for another golf lesson. Got about a week and a half until I move to Dubai, so I'm just going to squeeze them in, to be honest. Got a playing lesson today, so I'll be out on the course, which will be fun. And I've been in the car about half an hour now, just listening to one of the sales team's sales calls with some stuff he's struggling on, and sitting in the car is the perfect time to listen to your sales calls because you have nothing else to do and you can just lock in and see what you did good, see what you did bad, and think about how you'd handle things differently. Yeah, the biggest feedback I can give you on objection handling is once you've dropped the price, you just got to stay silent. And it's really important that you do that, because what happens here is you drop the price and then you say, hey, do you want to do credit or debit? And what happens there is he's straight into, he obviously tells you he needs to go away and think about it straight out the gate. Kind of forces, and then your whole narrative of the objection handling is focused on the money logistics, instead of getting more of a buy-in from him. And then it obviously comes up that he's quite fearful of the whole thing and he's not ready to make the jump. That silence is so important, because if you say, hey, the price is X, and then just honestly wait for him to say the first thing, because the first thing that comes out of his mouth is going to be the biggest thing that's stopping him from making the investment. Whether it's oh man, it's a lot of money, and then you're okay, well, what do you mean by a lot of money? Do you not have it? Is it that you're scared of it? Is it the fear? Whatever it is, because the more we get him to speak, the more he's going to tell us that then ultimately you're going to be able to use in the back end of that objection handling. And then the last thing I'll say is the pitch could do with a bit of improving, but this is something I want to go through with you one-on-one. We can go through it, but that's the biggest feedback, bro. Let me know if you have any questions. So it is about midday right now. Back from my golf lesson. Was pretty fun. Didn't play as good as I would have hoped. Yeah, it was fun. Learned a lot. I'm excited to try and implement it over the coming weeks. I think it's just the process of learning something and constantly working on improving is a feeling I really enjoy. And it's good, obviously, you get it in business all the time, but it's good to have it in something that isn't, you're not necessarily chasing a monetary figure, you're doing it for the enjoyment. And I find I do get that with fitness, with obviously running marathons and doing these challenges, but it's good to have it where it's something way more skill based that I'm just simply passionate about, as opposed to doing it for a monetary gain or just purely doing it for pleasure. I guess is what I'm trying to say. But it was interesting because I use my time in the car to speak to people. It's the one time I have zero distractions. I have no Slack notifications or anything going on. I can just sort of focus on that conversation. And as you saw, was giving feedback to a team member on their sales calls, and then had a conversation with Noah, one of my oldest team members, who just went to an Andy Elliott conference in Dubai, which I love. Sick to see that the team are trying to improve themselves, and he's super fired up. And we had a long discussion on being better every single day and that constant pursuit of getting better every day. It's really interesting that there's two things different from, obviously you can be motivated and motivation gets you one place, and you could be motivated for a week, a day, whereas the discipline part of it that really plays in and makes sure that you continue that motivation. And whilst he was super fired up after coming back from this event, super motivated, I wanted to try and make sure that okay, this is sick, how do we harness this feeling you're having right now and make sure we play it out day to day. And we had a long conversation on it of how to make sure that we can take that motivation and turn it more into discipline. And the idea of becoming better every day came up, and it's interesting because I think a lot of time people create false expectations for themselves where they're going to become better every single day and they want to constantly improve. And if they fall off one day, they feel like they're losing, they feel like they're drowning, they feel like they're not making the progress they want to. But the way I explained it to him, and the way I think some of you guys might find valuable, is if you think about it like a stock, like the S&P 500 averages 8 to 10% every single year. It goes up, right? And it's constantly increasing in price. Now, does that mean that every single day in the market that stock is going up? Well, no. As you know, it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes it's down, and then it goes up. But on a whole and on average over the course of the year, averaged out, it's 8 to 10%. So there are red days and there are green days. And the way I explained to him was look, you are going to have days where you're having green days, and your green days might be marginal, they might be massive. Don't be fooled into thinking you're never going to have a red day, or don't let those red days set you off, because if you know that your focus averaged out is by improving and getting better, just the simple fact of if you take time off, or if you slip up and you make a mistake and you do something wrong, you go for a drink, you're hungover, you miss a day of going to the gym, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you're failing. It means just make sure from those red days you can bounce back quicker and make sure the following day is a green day, right? And it's like going to the gym, for example. If you went to the gym every single day, you're not going to get stronger, right? You're going to get more fatigued. It's physically impossible for you to lift a heavier and heavier weight every single day. But if you lift that same weight for a bit, you're going to get stronger. You need to take some time off. You take a day off to rest, let your muscles heal, and then you're able to go and push bigger weights. So it's about essentially having more green days than red days, and appreciating the red days for what they are, but just knowing that part of the bigger picture, they all factor in, they're all going to make you zoom up and be better. Yeah, quite proud of that analogy. Don't know if it resonates with any of you, but it resonated with me. It resonated with him. I wish I got it on camera, but yeah, hope you find that helpful.
Do a good job blending in with the road these days, but I still tell the difference. Realness get recognition, I recognize that from a distance, see it from far.
I think if we could hire that cold caller in the next 2 days and diverge Setter's attention again to just IG, you could pull it straight for this month. And that's if that's the cause why it's low. And it seems to be. That's if it's Setter's attention. That's if it's not ads. The worst case scenario is that you hit the same target, you hit the same amount of money, and that you lose whatever you have to pay that cold caller. That's the worst case scenario.
So you saying the action steps are take all the setters off the VSL leads, hire one individual that just handles all VSL leads and is a cold caller that's job is to nurture plus book appointments. Yeah? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
And then it would be really nice because then the setters, all their data is IG data, and then this cold caller, all their data is VSL data.
Yeah. What you're saying makes sense.
Okay, I would do a call, and if you want me to do it, I can do it, but I would do a call with both closers on one call and just be completely open and honest and say, one of you lads at the end of this month isn't going to close for this offer anymore. I don't want you to be stressed. I want you to have faith in your capabilities. You guys are very even right now on your things, and by the end of the month, I'm gonna have to let one of you go.
Yeah. See, this is where we're in slight disagreements on if that is the right way to do things, because I'm like, well, by even simply saying that, you immediately put them in scarcity mindset where they're then not going to perform. Today is one of those days where it's not about the work, it's about the decisions and the decisions we make in order to steer the ship in the direction we want it to go. So yeah, you've just seen an insight into an internal kind of higher up team call, Hab and Matthias. Not sure how much of it we'll be able to share. Yeah, as I said, like things aren't going the way we want them to go, and if we just continue to try the same things again and again and again and expect different results, it's never going to happen. Like, it's just going to do the same. So we need to make tweaks internally, slight tweaks, in order to get things going where they need to go. And I don't think I've ever said this on a YouTube video before, but someone explained this to me in a sense of thinking about it like driving a boat. If you have a little speedboat and your speedboat is your 10K a month business or your 10K a month closer career or whatever it is, right? You're in a speedboat. You're in a fast little boat that it's maybe just you, maybe you've got one employee, and you can turn that wheel really quickly and go in loads of different directions. And ultimately you can have a detrimental, but it can have a really positive impact on your progress. When you have a bigger business with say 10 team members like we do at Club Closer, we can't make knee-jerk reaction decisions or tweak things like that, like big things. Otherwise that could put a detriment to the rest of the business and everything we're doing. Like we can't just suddenly decide to change our whole offer overnight and remarket and expect to be pulling in the same numbers, because we've got, I've got 10 other people that are relying on me for paychecks every single month. So it's all about, we've got this kind of oil tanker that is driving through the ocean and we want it to go north, and it's slightly off course, and we just have to make a few tweaks, whether that be another hire, a restructure of the team, in order to get it back on track and get it back the direction we're going. And that's really what we're trying to do at the minute. And arguably, this is probably one of the biggest kind of reactions we'll make in business is kind of what we discussed. The details of which I can't really share until it's happened. Like, I don't know how long this video is going to be. And it's forward thinking and forward planning. Like, if we were to make the decision, what's the outcome of that? What are the implications? How can we make sure that things stay as steady as possible and fuel is still being pumped into those engines, and the team is still doing all their day-to-day jobs, so that ship doesn't stall, doesn't stop, it keeps moving, it's just tweaked and continues going in the right direction. Yeah, really stressful conversations. It's not about, working harder, it's just making these decisions that do have a bigger impact. And yeah, man, it's scary. Like, I never want to fire team members or change the way the business works if it's proven to work. And the thing is, like, the more and more money you make, almost the scarier those decisions are, because it's not just, your couple grand a month close a roll, or your 10 grand a month close a roll, or your 20 grand a month business that's on the line. What's on the line is a much bigger stake. Like, we do 200 or 180 to 200k a month. Like, that's what's on the line for me here. And the 10 team members as well, making sure they get paid and everything. So there's a lot more on the line. So stakes are higher. Although I try not to think about it like that, because, that can put you in a downward spiral, which we don't want. But yeah, it's a privilege. It's fun. It's exciting. But at the same time, like, business is business. You have to make these hard decisions. And to be honest, like, the best entrepreneurs I know or I've, ever learned from make decisions quickly. And when they've made those decisions, they fucking stick with them. And they wear them on their sleeve and believe them 100%. So this edition of hiring a full-time cold caller, we made the decision we were going to do it. I had my lunch. And I'm fully sold on the idea. I think it's the best thing for the business. I think it's the best thing we could do. It's going to be the best move, and it should improve the metrics of the whole setting team. And obviously we're having issues with show rates and whatnot at the minute. That should also fix. Like, I really believe it's a great move. So I was meant to be seeing my mum today, my grandma, just the last time before I head to Dubai. You know what family's like. I'm going away for like 3 weeks and then I'm back for Christmas. But that was the plan. But my mum's got a bit of a cold, so she cancelled on us last minute, which gave me pretty much the whole of the day free. And as I'd done like the bulk of the work I wanted to do this week already, accounting for that I'd have Friday written off, I've taken myself golfing this morning, trying to put into practice what I've been learning the last few weeks, and it's going alright. It's going okay. Could be going better. Yeah, it's the first time I play golf on my own in, maybe like a couple years, actually on a golf course, and I tell you what, it's very relaxing. I probably need to do more of this, where typically, like, if I had something planned and then it got cancelled, I'd try and fill that time with work, and it would be like busy work just for the sake of doing it. But obviously there's things I need to do, and I know I'll be putting in some hours this weekend, but I was like, you know what, I want to go play golf this morning. And that's the beauty of having online business. You can kind of sack it off. Obviously phone's on, notifications coming in, but yeah, it's just good fun.
Say